Hi everyone. Welcome to Everything Life with Doing and Friends again. Like you know, my name is Doing, and today I have with me Yetunde, who is gonna be discussing a very serious topic with me. And today we'll be talking about career development. I mean, strategies for career growth and development in various sectors, and then the skills and the necessary tool sets we need to overcome challenges in workplace. So I'll let Yetunde introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Yetunde and I'm a business analyst currently.
Okay. Thank you for that little introduction. I thought you probably share more, but it's all nice. Um, Yetunde is a business analyst, like you guys know, and I'm a data scientist. I do machine learning, I do data analysis, I do blogging, I do everything. So today, like I said, we'll be talking about career development. And she being someone who has been in the industry for a while, I believe she's definitely had some good experiences and bad experiences, and we can like interact with each other and share experiences. The segment today is divided into like two parts, where we each discuss a couple of things that we feel that is necessary to like overcome career challenges and stay develop in a professional way. So the first topic we'll be discussing is something called continuous learning and skill development. So, yesterday, um, how do you think we as people, as probably professionals or even people who are new to the work industry, how do you think we can continuously improve our learning and improve their skills? And what are the tool sets you recommend for someone who is probably new in the industry or probably someone who is already in the industry already? How do you think they can like continuously develop and, you know, continuously learn and still improve their skills as a professional?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. For me, it would be um, the first point I'd like to make is that as professionals or as someone who is probably looking to become a business analyst or maybe a data scientist or a data analyst, the first thing that you need is passion.
Mm.
Because for you to want to learn, you have to be passionate about what you want to, what
Yes, that's right.
the development or the area that you want to develop. You need to have passion.
Yeah.
If I take myself as an example, I always known that I wanted to be a business analyst.
Mm.
Like right from time, I remember in the early days of my career, I'd done sales.
Mm.
I did marketing at some point. Then I did business development. But the end point was always going to be tech and it was always going to be business analysis. And then that would grow into maybe something even bigger.
Yeah.
And so every of my actions, every of my move was centered around being a business analyst.
Mm.
I have a master's degree and I did not just come into the UK to study a
Business.
course.
Yeah.
I wanted a particular course and I came, to study that course. So I believe that passion is very important
Okay.
if you want to develop as a professional. And I think that you could also set targets for yourself as to what you want to do, how you want to do it. Because that's another thing that I did. I had like clear goals, clear targets of how I intend to achieve my goals. At some point, I was trying to get a business analyst job, but it wasn't coming. So I'm like, okay, I could do courses. I wanted to learn more about projects, so I took Prince 2 course, And at that time, it wasn't like I needed that course at the time, but it was just a means to an end for me. I just wanted to get involved. And I remember another thing that I did was to buy courses on Udemy on business, just random things. Everything that I did back then was routing me to my career path.
Mm.
I remember even at some point, I mean, in school, you have career,
Days and those
yeah.
stuff
So
like
you
that.
just go in. As soon as I got in, I told them this is what I wanted to do. This is,
So
my goal.
it's more or less like you had a clear path from the start.
It was clear from the scratch. It was clear
So
to me as the lines of my palm.
so like every decisions you made was tailored to like that part.
Yes, it was. It was. Everything I did was tailored to the part. I remember at some point when I was even trying to get like courses, master's degree courses, I didn't see business analytics or business analysis. I had to go for information technology management. It was always going to be tech or
Nothing.
nothing for me. And so some of the things that I did at those critical times were to read more. I Google is my friend. Like I always say, Google is everyone's friend. I go on Google, I check for latest trends in the industry or any industry of my choice, latest trend on the career. I check for courses, free courses. Like I said, I buy courses on Udemy. I go on LinkedIn Learning
Keep improving
just to understand what's going on.
in the
And
industry.
before I knew what was going on, I was able to design my CV by myself, apply to jobs, even though I was already involved in project activities, but it wasn't just named. And if you're coming from where I'm coming from, that sometimes you do a lot of things and it's not even named. But I was doing all of these things because of the passion that I
Yeah,
have.
for it.
I was I was doing my marketing activities. I was looking for clients. I was delivering technological product, and before I knew it, that led me into project management and from there into business analysis.
Wow. I mean, to be honest with you, that's a very deep one because I was in my head I was thinking, okay, what are the things that
I was going to say, oh, go and learn this,
no,
go and learn
no,
that.
to be honest, I mean, you basically just like cover the basics of like every person, everyone who is looking into going into any field, be it in tech or other private sectors, other whatever tech sectors, probably retail, logistics, and other stuff. I think you've like covered the basics. You have to be passionate about that thing because
Yeah.
if you're not passionate about it, you definitely not achieve that goal that you wanted to achieve. And then you mentioned about buying courses on Udemy. I think that's something we don't preach enough. I have known about EDS when I was in FUTA, as far back as 2012.
Yeah.
EDS, Udemy, Coursera. In fact, it got to a point where I am applying for financial aid on Coursera as if I'm applying for a big scholarship.
Yeah.
At some point, I had like 15 financial aid courses that I'm not paying for on Coursera. I'm taking advantage of those things to improve.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Before I came to the UK, I was working in a company, in a data management company. So I had a foreknowledge of what a data is and how data are processed. But then I don't have in-depth analytical skills. These are things I had to like over time acquire by taking courses and all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you literally just covered everything I had in my head. Thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome.
So, I mean, from discussing the continuous learning and skill development in, we have another subject here which is quite important for professionals or even people who are actually new to the industry, and that is networking and building relationships. I mean, outside work environment, even I think we all believe that relationships are important.
Yeah.
Your network of people, your network of people determines your value. So, I mean, in the context of a career development now, what role does networking and building relationship play in your own view?
Well, networking and relationship, let me say, not management, like building relationships, like you said, it goes a long way, and I'll tell you why. And I like to just state my own experience for people to understand where I'm coming from or what my ideologies or what my ideas are. is because is what I've experienced firsthand, and I like to share experiences with people so that you understand a bit better. The role of relationships or even networks cannot be overemphasized, and that's because if you're within a network, there is a way that you are like kind of encouraged to do things, and there are the funny thing is there are many ways by which you can sort of navigate through a career. There are many ways by which you can navigate through life generally, basically. And we as humans, we have been blessed with our minds. We have the brain. We have so many ways of thinking. We have ideas, and you may see a particular thing from your own point of view, and from my own point of view, I'm seeing it as something else.
Yeah, that's
And at a time, we would think that, oh, this is the only way. For instance, if you want to become, let me say, a data analyst, someone may come and say, oh, the only way is for me to, just go run a course and do that and all of that. And you may not even know at the time that, oh, you could actually attend maybe a job fair, or you could get in as a graduate without experience, and
yeah.
you are in your head, you're like, oh,
You
I
have
need
to
to go
get to
register for a
yeah.
course and all of that. And so when you come in contact with some people, when you start building relationship with fellow professionals, it kind of like lightens your path, like it opens your eyes to many opportunities that you don't even think existed in the first instance. And to be honest, for me, um, I joined quite a couple of groups, and sometimes what it may not be that they are directly just dropping nuggets on what to do or how to become a business analyst, but randomly they just post stuff about career, about maybe someone is talking about engineering, for instance, and say, oh yeah, I got a job with an engineering firm, and this was what I did, this was how I did it. And at that point, you may not know that it's actually applicable to you as a person, right? But yeah, and I remember when I first came into the UK, I didn't know what I had loads of culture shock. To be honest, it was a lot. I was coming in as a professional myself. I'd been into the tech space for quite a while, and like I said, from business development to projects, and that was within the tech space. And so when I came in, I had people tell me that, oh yeah, you could join groups here and there. And I remember that I joined quite a number of WhatsApp groups, and people would come in and just post stuff. And at the time, I didn't know that, I could benefit from all of the things that they were posting, all of the things that they were saying. And I also had the opportunity to meet with some of these people one on one. And then you come to a gathering and you see people talk about their experiences, you see people talk about what they do, and you're encouraged to even do more. And so on one of these meet and greets that we had, I had people come in, like in space. People came in. And to be honest, I felt like I needed to share my own
Personal view.
personal experience one day, or just share my own testimony. And so that kind of helped me to start thinking of things to do, how to come about, how to go about things. And these networks, these relationships might not be in form of, oh, we have this big association that we go. It might be friends coming together that they have common goals or common interest. The list of students, or maybe new. It might be like maybe a group of grad ones. You never can tell. In my own case, it was at a time I joined a group where they had like graduates come on the group just to share experiences about jobs, about interviews, about assessment, and all of that. So you cannot underestimate the importance of all of these networks, because eventually you get value from this network. You can apply this value to your own career. You can apply it to your daily, like your day-to-day activity. It doesn't even have to be, well, I know that we're talking about career, but
Yeah,
there are some nudges that you get from this networks,
that
from this
applies to life
that
itself.
applies life generally. So I believe that it comes, I mean, it's a very, very important aspect or important part where important part in building your career, because an experience shared in a platform or in a gathering could be your own way of escape from like a horrible job process or horrible situation,
Hmm.
to be honest.
Well, I think she's to be. It's like I brought my Oga to this, but because you are sharing a lot of stuff that even myself, I'm like picking. I'm in the industry already, yeah, but I'm picking things already. And if we are talking about networking and building relationships now, in the bigger picture of the whole, in the grand scheme of things, the go-to topic would be like people saying, "Oh, attend organization events, all these tech events."
Uh,
Well, even groups as small as WhatsApp groups can
yeah,
provide you the needed information.
yeah.
So I mean, it is on us now as professionals or as people who are coming into the industry to understand this, to see these opportunities and tap into it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
The third topic that I'd like us to talk about is a topic that is quite important in the workspace. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
only in tech, it's not even in life, it's quite important. And it's about embracing challenges and taking risk. I
Mm.
know we all come from a background where things are not exactly that very good. So it limits our opportunity to take risk because
Mm.
we don't have a cushion to fall on if we fail. What is your own personal view when it comes to embracing challenges, when it comes to taking risk? What would you
Mm.
advise probably someone who is new or probably someone who is in the industry already? What would you advise them to do in this kind of
Is this
situations?
the part where I clear my throat?
You
Because
can,
this is a risky part.
no, 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 you
It's
can do
quite
it.
risky. Embracing challenges and risk, taking risk. I'll start with embracing challenges. To be honest, the world is generally challenged.
Hmm,
And if I'm not going to lie, we at different points in our lives, we may have faced one challenge or the other. And it may not even be your career path, it may be something else. And I believe that, well, challenges would come, but the way that you see challenges, it matters. And my own belief, I believe in God. I believe that God has the ultimate say, and I
yeah,
believe that no challenge would be able to overcome me, like no temptation or challenge. God wouldn't bring a challenge or a temptation that will overpower me.
yeah,
So I always have that in my conscience. And I believe that if I'm going through anything in life, it's just for a matter of time.
yeah,
And I think that has sort of helped me. I mean, my career path has not always been there. Oh, graduated, you got a job,
hmm,
you got a good pay, then you got into tech, and afterwards you traveled to the UK. I had my own moment. I had my own moment of downfall. I just believe that you need to actually believe in yourself and you need to believe in God, and also know that challenges will come, but they don't last,
hmm.
right? You're not
Hmm.
going to be challenged
That,
forever.
that's the word.
You're not going to be challenged forever. It may be for a while, but of course, you definitely come out of that. I believe if you have this mentality, or if you are able to know these things, it helps you to be able to face your fears or face these challenges and devise maybe means to get out. It may not always be as you planned.
Yeah,
Maybe, oh, you believe that, oh, if I'm in maybe my career path. I need to get a job at this point. Oh, I'm not getting this job. I'm getting so many unfortunately mails and all of that. Oh, what do I need to do? Sometimes it might just be as simple as just being calm and re-strategizing.
Yeah, taking a step back.
Yeah, just take it and evaluate.
Mm.
Say, what am I doing right? What have I done right? What has worked for me?
Mm.
If this has worked for me, what did I do?
Mm.
What am I doing wrong? How can I improve? And to be honest, I believe that we also need to speak out and seek advice from knowledgeable people, people who've gone ahead, people who probably have been in the same situation before to say, oh, this is what I'm facing. What can I do differently? Because you can't expect to do the same thing over and
And
over
over
again and
again.
expect a different result.
That's madness.
Yeah. So you need to evaluate and just try to think differently. And taking risk, well, that depends on your risk appetite. We all have different risk appetite.
Mm.
I don't like to take risk. I like to be on the safe side.
Mm.
I like to evaluate things. I like to plan a lot. And so it depends on your risk appetite. If your risk appetite can carry the risk you want to take, why not? But if not, I know someone who she wouldn't do contribution because she believes, oh, what if someone ups and leave and takes all my money? Some people wouldn't invest because they believe, oh, what if
The whole thing
it
crashed.
crashes? Yeah. So it depends on your risk appetite. But every day
Yeah.
is a risk. Everything you do, as little as stepping out of your house, I mean, you're taking a risk. And why not just take the risk anyways?
Thank you.
But of course, responsibly, taking risk responsibly.
Well, you've like shared everything I need to share. I just shared this personal experience about risk taking. I remember when I was in Nigeria, I was working as a data manager, and COVID happened. We were told to go home and all that. And already, I was already done with the job in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Like mentally, I was not there again. So I decided not to go back when we were called back. Now it was risky because one, I was broke, I had no money,
Mm-hmm.
and two, I had not secured another job while I was
Oh,
leaving
yeah.
that job. And looking back now, I know that's some sort of madness on my part. Was the risk worth it? Yes. But would I advise any other person to do that kind of thing? No.
Definitely no.
So because what works for me might not work for another person.
Mm-hmm.
So in general, what I would say is before you take any risk, just weigh the pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
If the cons outweigh the pros, I mean, maybe it's time for you to reevaluate your position.
Yeah. And to be honest, some people just take risk for risk. They're like, oh
Just,
yeah,
I
like
just do
that
it.
lackluster attitude. But you can't live like that forever.
Okay, so to round it up, I've got a very important topic. We should be the point where we'll put an end to this conversation,
Okay.
and it's all about seeking feedback and self-reflection. I
Hmm.
believe for improvements to happen in our life generally, not just professionally, there's a need for us to always try and seek feedback from people who does not have a biased mindset anyway.
Oh yeah.
And because you cannot just seek feedback from everybody. If you go and seek a feedback from your enemy, it's going to tell you a very destructive thing actually.
Oh yeah.
So and then self-reflection. Because see, I believe most of the problems we have in the world today, it's all down to people not having that self-awareness for them to like self-reflect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're acting in some kind of way, if you have a very good, if you do a self-reflection, you may be able to like bring yourself to the point where you realize, I'm acting wrong or not.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it's a very broad topic,
Mm-hmm.
but briefly, um, what would you say about seeking feedback and self-reflection?
Mm. Seeking feedback and self-reflection. if you know me, I I do a lot of self-reflection. I mean, to the point where when I speak to someone and I have some, like if we're three and I speak to someone and I, probably see like maybe a pushback or something, I sit down to analyze. Well, we're business analysts. We tend to analyze a lot. I sit down to analyze situations and I try to just reflect. What could I have done better?
Mm.
What have I done wrong?
Yeah.
What could I have done better? I just like to analyze because I believe that for you to sit and reflect, it means that you're willing to change something.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to change something, if you're willing to make a move, then I think you're on the right path.
Yeah.
Like for instance, if you are in maybe a career path that you do not like,
Mhm.
and you probably sit to reflect and say, okay, where am I even going? This particular point of my life, what I'm doing, how does it affect me, either positively or
Not
negatively?
negatively.
Okay, as a person, do I even think that I have the capacity currently to attain, the goals or the visions that I have?
Yeah.
So I believe that is very important, and also it helps with critical thinking and
Yeah.
critical
Yeah.
analysis
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Because if you sit and you reflect a
Flex.
lot,
Mhm.
you probably realize that is either you are not doing as much as you should
Should
be
do.
doing,
Mm.
or maybe you're doing more and you're not even getting the
Getting
right
enough. Yeah.
result. So
Mm.
I believe that it's very important. As human, we should always, always reflect on things, on events. It helps.
Mm.
That's all I can say. I personally, I love to reflect, just think, not necessarily thinking about the past. It's just like a form of evaluation. Like,
Exactly.
what am I doing well? What can I improve on?
Mm.
And if you're reflecting, you have, maybe if you have someone that you can talk to, mentors, family members, people, maybe if you have high net worth individuals within your circle that you can just discuss with, just so you can get constructive feedback, not just feedback. Because some people just say, oh yeah, I'm just doing this, let me get feedback. Look for people who are reasonable, that can give you constructive feedback, that can also help you provide solutions to some of the things that you may be confused about. I do that a lot. Well, maybe because I'm blessed with a lot of great people. Sometimes I don't even have to solicit for these things, but they probably see what I'm doing and they feel like, oh yeah, they feel the nudge to just come in to say, I think you should do this. I
This.
think you should do this differently.
Mhm.
And to be honest, that has helped me in my career path, because I have people in my circle, and I know that we spoke about relationship and networking.
Yeah.
Some of these people might not even be your age mates.
Of course. Yeah.
It might be in form of maybe an older person
Another
who's gone
person.
that path before, and then you just nudge you and say, "Oh, this thing that you're doing, I don't think you're doing it the right way. I think you should do it differently." And before you know it, to be honest, it helps. So critical thinking is very important. Self-reflection, important. Um, what other thing? Seeking feedback, of course. Feedback is very important. I mean, why would if you buy something online, why would they ask you to do a survey, rate the product, rate the
So
service?
they can improve their
Yeah,
services.
so
Yeah.
you need to seek feedback to improve yourself as a person.
Mm.
What are you doing well? What are you not doing enough? What can I do better? So I believe that.
Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank
knowledge
you.
today.
I
Because
will.
just like you said, I think every part of the topics we've discussed is kind of interwoven.
Yeah, I agree.
Because from seeking feedback to self-reflection, you from there go back to networking and relationships. And
Mhm.
I mean, these things are like intertwined. And
Yeah.
to be honest, self-reflection, I've always said it. If we have this sort of self-awareness and we reflect a lot of
Mhm.
things, most
Mhm.
of the actions we do, we
Yeah.
will not probably do it.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, again, when it comes to feedback, I have a caveat that I always put. Know who you are seeking feedback from.
Mhm.
See, it's like asking a man that is naked to provide you clothes.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
not possible.
No.
Yorùbá sọ pé èyí tí yàn bá máa dáṣọ fún yàn, wàá kọ́kọ́ wo tọ́nu ẹnìyẹn. So it's like if you go and seek feedback from probably someone who is probably looking for your downfall, that person will not have any good thing to say other than just to say something that will demoralize you. So as much as we seek feedback, it's necessary for us to understand the source where that feedback is coming from. Is it coming from a place of jealousy or just literally wanting you to improve? So I think,
and you know that the funny thing is sometimes it might not even be from a place of jealousy. It might be from a place of I'm trying to remember the word for it. Like some people, just for instance, when we came into this country, you hear phrases like, "Oh, you can't do any other job. You have to do this. You cannot get a job in
stereotype.
You cannot you cannot do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that." And I mean, at a point, if it felt like it was true, but of course, I had people who would come and talk to me and say, "Oh yeah, somehow that can be true, but that may not necessarily be your experience. And if you don't try, you won't know."
No, yeah.
So sometimes the people that you're seeking feedback from, it's also because
their own
maybe
personal
their own personal experience, not what is applicable in general, right?
Yeah.
So, like you said, if you want to, you're asking someone who doesn't have clothes
To offer
to offer you, of course, because they're going to offer you in their wealth of wickedness. And that's what they are going to offer you. And of course, nothing good will come out from such conversations.
Well, thank you so much for giving us your time today to share your knowledge, to share your wisdom and experience with us.
Thank you.
We hope to bring you back. We are definitely bringing you back because there is more to talk about, and we don't want to go. We don't want to bore everyone with our long talks. That's why we are rounding up now. Thank you, everyone. Just like we've always said, like, share, subscribe, and kindly leave your comments. We want your feedback. We want to know what we are doing wrong and want to know how we can actually improve.
Help us grow this channel.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.